This is an experiment to see if I can create a tutorial for animation in Fragmotion using Livestream, so that so I don't use up all my hard drive space, basically. So okay, here we have a blank window of Fragmotion, and I'm going to try to open, I think it lets me do 3DS, a cow. There we go. Now we have a cow here. And I can use right click to move it around. This cow looks absolutely gargantuan. Probably. It's also way below the axis line, so we're going to want to move that up. Going to select group, draw a box around it, and now then, oh, I suppose I should have done a brief introduction, as my generous tutor had done for me. So before I continue further, we'll discuss how I do not have a default layout of Fragmotion here. You can see in this corner, the upper left corner is a skeleton box, which we'll be filling that up soon. Underneath that is animations. And underneath that is a model box, which allows me, see, I can see this model has 7 groups, a bunch of textures, and it shows me all of these textures it has. There's a texture tab and a schema tab, which I almost never use. I just leave it on the model. On the right hand side we have properties. This shows me, pardon me, this shows me properties of the model, animations, and other things. At the moment it doesn't have a whole lot of properties. It has a face count of 8,000. It's okay. It's a little high, but level of detail will probably fix that. It's not terrible. It's not like 100,000 or anything, so it's a good size model for our purposes. And then underneath that we have tools. Right now I have it selected on the Restore Tools and Show Tree. It defaults to this without the tree. The tree is very helpful because then you can see other things under it. So I have used the select, and underneath that is the tool category, and that's part of the tools box. So now I'm used the little plus minus boxes, so you can see I can open the tree. Then over here we have skeletal animation. I haven't created a skeleton for it yet, so you aren't going to need that at the moment. So I need to move. So I go to transform and I select move, and now I'm just going to move this up. Now I'm in the 3D view here. Wow, that's huge. I absolutely have to resize this. So there's the front, back, top, the other way, left and right. I think it is crooked, so we need to rotate this cow so that the X, Y, Z, so the Z is actually up. So we will start there. If I can remember, I usually do the mesh editing in Milkshape. I thought I would try and do all of it in Fragmotion here. I may end up having to mesh edit back in Milkshape because I'm more accustomed to it. But we will try here. There we go. By going to one of the axis views, I can make sure that it doesn't go crooked. So this allows me to make sure I keep it straight. And then, let's see. And then, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. I'm just not as familiar with the rotating. I do my animation in Fragmotion. I wasn't planning on having to edit the mesh. So I think what I'm gonna do then is I'm just gonna open this. I'm not gonna need this, so we'll just leave that. We come here to Milkshape, and I'll open that. I'm just gonna open this cow up in Milkshape, save it. Milkshape and Fragmotion communicate very easily with one another. So I'm gonna import Autodisk 3ds, because this is a 3ds file. There it is, open. Oh yeah, it's this cow is the size of the Empire State Building. And as I suspected, it is laying the wrong way. So first let's shrink it, scale all under tools. And we're gonna go down to 1% because I think it really is that big. Okay, that's too small. Now it's about half the size of a human. But I can work with that. So we'll do scale all and 200%. So I really only needed to go down to 2% instead of 1%. It really was quite large. So now we select group, rotate, and move. And we get our cow up above the line there. And I believe, yes, we need to rotate it this way as well. That is what I was thinking. So that it will be facing the proper direction when we animate it. And zoom in here. Try to get the top of this blue axis about where the hip will be. So when we turn it around, it'll be turning roughly on the axis. I can take that wireframe overlay off. There we go. Yeah, it's going to be a good looking cow now. That'll work just fine. Now then we save as. Let's go back to that folder. And we'll just call it cow01 MS3D format. We'll go ahead and we'll just save it in MS3D and close. Now we're going to open here, cow MS3D, save changes. No. Alright, now we have what we need. Oh yeah, that's better. Okay. Now, of course, I've lost it. There it is. Cow nose. Yay, there's our cow. Okay, that looks good. That'll work. Even close up, it looks good. So, now we have our model. Now we create the skeleton for it. So we're going to go to our Create menu and Bone. And zoom out. And that's not where I want the bone. Undo create bone. I'm trying to get my view back. And that's not what I'm trying to do. Undo create bone. Move. I need the move menu. Select. We'll do select. Or select bone. What I really want is I just want to move my cat. Why is it? Oh, it's not. Alright. Not quite. I forgot to check that in Milkshape, so we'll just fix that now. We want to be on the center. So go back to our transform and move. Top down view so it doesn't get lost. That looks good. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Now then, back to our 3D view. And create bone. Here is our hip, and we name that here, and we'll call it hip. And then we can create, it's actually a little low. I need that to be a little bit higher. So I go back to transform, and I'm just going to move that. It moves the selected joint. I think I need a straight view. There we go. That's better. Make sure yeah, that's what I was worried about. It got off center. Okay, now we've got it. And we're going to go to our next bone creation here, and we will call that lower back. And we go to our next, and we call that mid back. And next, see, I didn't move that very good, so I'm going to move that up just a little bit. And we call that upper back. And next bone, go back to our creator menu, notice. And we call this scapula. And next, base neck. You'll see our skeleton is filling in over here, giving us all the names. And mid neck. And base neck. I think if I can zoom in a little, it would help. Does that look about right for the base neck? Might need to move that a little bit. Might not use that joint much, but just in case, it's easier to put it now than later. There's the base neck. I'm going to go back to create bone. There's the head. And I reset the view. Now then I may want to top view. Oh, look at that. See, I have a bone got off center. So we're going to select bone. Go up to our selection menu. Not bone, select bone. And then we will move it. I'll get that back in a straight line again. And then we will select its friend bone. And we will move that about to the middle of the head. There we go. And now we can create bones for the ears. What should we do? I think we should do the nose first. I'll go ahead and do the nose, I guess. We'll come back here. In case we want to do the nose. Might want to wiggle the nose or something. I think possibly this particular cow may not have a mouth that opens. If I wanted to have the mouth open, I would select this bone again and have it come down. And then I would have this bone come down and open the mouth, but I don't think this model can do that. So somebody needs to draw me a new model of a cow to make the mouth work. For now, this will do just fine. So we're going to create bones for the ears so we can make the ears move. And those are going to be based. So this is left ear base. And then have it wiggle the left ear. And now then we select the head bone again. Oh, did it wrong again. Select bone, not bone info. There we go. Select bone. So now we're going to be off the correct joint. And we do that again for the right ear base. And then we do the right ear. And now we come back and we get to put bones for the legs. So we select our bone. Let's go ahead and do the tail. I think we shall do the tail next because it is easy. Now there's a bone. I think I actually want to move it, but yeah, be easier to move it now than later. So I suppose I shall move it now. Transform, move. Now I have to select the other one and move all that back down again. And move there. And probably moved it too much. Select bone. Move. There. Okay, all better now. Back to the hip. Now then we make the tail. Create bone. We'll call this tail base. And then we do another tail. Tail 1. Tail 2. Tail 3. And tail tip. And yes, that's our dog barking behind my head. Hopefully somebody else will let him out. He just went out 5 minutes ago, but now he wants to go out again. Select bone again. Now we're back to the hip, and now we need a top view for a moment to create this next bone. So we will do the left first, I suppose. And I'm going to want to move that up a bit. Move up. And now then we can create again. Well, first we want to name that left hip or left pelvis. probably should have named the center pelvis and left right hip, but anyway, it doesn't matter as long as it works and it's logical. So then we go, now we have, yes, we're still in create bone. Now is when it is good to actually have a sketch of the anatomy of the animal that you are trying to create. In this case, I believe our bone would go here. We shall call that left thigh. Then it goes back here. We will call that left knee. This should actually be rear knee. Left rear. Okay. And we go down here. Left rear ankle or hocks. We're going to call it ankle. And then left foot. Left rear foot. Okay, now here you see we, you'll recall we had one we misnamed, so we just go back to select bone, and we just rename that to left rear thigh. Then we come back here, select the hip, and start over again. I bet if we do the top-down view, yes, as I suspected, we have bones that are oddly positioned. We move them out like so, and select bone. That one is definitely not going to be like that. Move. Select a bone. You can see the little name pop up so I can see which one I am moving. And that should work. So now that I want to select again, select bone. See, as my mouse pointer goes over it, it says which one it is. So now we're at the hip again. Now we can create new bones. And we want that one about there. And then we shall go back to our side view and move that into a good position. And then create, oh, first we need to rename it. Right pelvis, right rear pelvis is always going to be in the rear. Okay, and then create next. Right rear thigh. Next. Shall be right rear knee and right rear ankle. Yes, this is all in real time. It is not speeded up. It is slow rigging. Right rear foot. And that should be done. And now we have, on this female cow, we have an udder. I'm going to go ahead and attach it to the mid-back rather than the pelvis because I kind of want it to respond to this back area of texture. Other animators might disagree with that choice, but that's the choice I'm going to make today. So I'm going to attach it to this lower back area, so when this back area moves it will kind of respond to that a little bit. And So I've selected that bone. Now I'm going to create a new bone here. And we're going to put it down here, and that will allow me to move the udder. And if I wanted to, I could actually animate all 4 of the udder teats. I might as well, I suppose. So we'll call it udder, and then we do teat 1. Now we have to go back to the udder, select that again, select this bone, then we can create a new bone and do that teat. Teat 2. I may not actually do anything with these immediately, but now it's an option if I decide I want to. And create another bone over there. Name it 3. Select and create and name it 4. Alright. I'm going to select that one and move it down because I think it's too high. Select. Move. Not move all, just move. Why isn't it doing it? Select bone. Move. There we go. Okay. And now I suppose if I look at a top down, I will find all of them. There we go. Bottom up. Okay, so there's 1. And now we can go to our menu over here and choose these. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And that's how the our skeleton there is helping us already. Now that we go back to this view, we still have to put the front legs on. So we want to select this bone again up here. Where is it? Select bone. We're going to use the scapula and create bone. I believe we have the shoulder comes in about there. If you are not sure, you can check with the anatomy of the animal that you are animating and try to create your bone structure relatively comparable to what you are working with. And we need a top-down view. So, oh, look at that. We need to fix that too. Let me go ahead and move this first. Call this front shoulder. And we have to move it out here. And now then I need to select that the right rear legs, we forgot to move those. So select a bone and move the bone out. And probably have to move that a little bit. Here's where 3D view can help a little. So we'll select, don't need that create menu open right now. Select bone right here, move, and those look good. Select bone here, move, select those, move. Alright, those look better now. Okay. Now then, I want to select this bone. I can go back to fixing that. So now we need the creator open again and create bone. Oh, where is that? That's going to be right about there, I think. I think I need to look at the structure of the house, what I need to do. So we're going to open a page. Cow skeleton. Images. There we go. Okay, so it goes back, then forward, then back. So that's what I needed to know. Okay, and that's the rear. So the front. Front is going to go straight down, then back, then straight down. And so yeah, okay. So we want to move this a little bit then. I haven't got it low enough yet, so it's going to go right about there-ish. And then back to here. And probably more like that. And that's going to be left. What is that? Elbow, I guess. Left, front, elbow. And then left, front knee. And the ankle. And foot. So now that we select bone again, and we're going to go back up here and do it all again. Create bone. And that will be the right front shoulder. Probably is a better name for it than that, but that's what I'm going to call it right now. Right front elbow. Right front knee. Right front ankle. And right front foot. And now, unless I'm mistaken, I finally have all the bones in, but I'll bet I need to adjust some of them. Yeah, like all of them that I just did over here. Where's that? Alright, let's have a look here. Should be left front shoulder. Okay. Left front elbow. shoulder is almost too far out. We'll move that back in. Got the elbow, got the knee. We'll move that. Ankle is okay, and foot we need to move in a bit. Now we go to the right front shoulder, which is way, way off. And right front elbow, which kind of looks like it could go in a bit. Right front knee might come down a bit. Scroll down, right front ankle. Kind of looks okay. And right front foot looks okay. We should probably save it. And we'll call it cow 02 because we have made changes. And it is now in UGH format. Now we have all of our skeleton pieces in. How do those ears look? Those ears look very wonky. Okay, left ear base. That one looks kind of okay. Move it out a little bit. Over the right ear, not so much. We definitely need to fix that. And we move it out here. That looks better. Okay, now then, we use our magic assign, auto assign vertices, all vertices to nearest bone. Now it is auto rigged. We will have to fix that as we go, but one of the nice things about Fragmotion is we can fix them as we go. So that works really nicely. And we are ready to start our very first animation. So what are we? Half an hour into this and we're just now starting. Isn't that fun? So what shall we do first? Let's go ahead and how about we make the tail move? The tail is almost certainly going to have some new rigging done to it, so we'll just go ahead and do that right away. Now we're going to want our skeletal animation menu and our select bone tool. And here's where we get to use these nifty little built-in sliders. Under our Windows tab, we have our Keyframe Editor. And I'll show you how to use this. And then we will also use our keyframe sliders. And I will put that up here. So first of all, we want to use the key with the 3 boxes, and we will make a start and a finish keyframe. So this will be our default pose. So there's our start and there's our finish, and now we have 30 frames of absolutely nothing. We can save as cow 3. We can use our keyframe slider. See, we've already selected this bone. And our slider will let us move that. So we can use the sliders to go side to side. Notice we've got some vertices here that we are absolutely, I already knew that that was going to happen. Wasn't really we just want to attach all those to their proper. So now we're going to go to select vertex, and we're going to select all these. Some just left click and drag to make these boxes. That's how I'm doing this. Left click and drag, left click and drag. select all these pink dots, and I'm holding the Shift key down so that when I left click again, it doesn't lose the boxes I already had selected. And I have a significant number that I know I want to reassign here. And I can try not to get any of the actual tail vertices because it's hard to unassign those. So now then I want to select this bone, and it still has all my vertices selected, and now I go to assign selected vertices to bone, and I'm going to drag this slider all the way over to 1 and set. Now they're all assigned to the tail base, and they're back where they belong. And we only have the tail moving to the side, which is exactly what we wanted. So now that works properly. So now I can choose that tailbone again, and it's obviously moved way too far to the side. We don't really want that happening quite like that. And then we can move that. Oh, and actually, see, I don't want any of that done. Actually, I want to be doing this over here. And I've saved all that, haven't I? So, here we go. We take this, and we will copy and paste. Now we're back to nothing again. I want to move my slider to this over here. Also, I want to change to the slider button, the move keys. And so I'm going to go, I'm just trying to make a very subtle swishing of the tail animation. So I'm going to go to 10. So I'm at keyframe 10 now, and we're going to do that again. I'm going to slide, choose, and slide, choose, and slide. And that's a little too straight, so I think I'm going to take this other Y slider and move it like this, and choose that one and move it like that. And now then it's wrapping around the body of the cow, and I'm going to do that. There we go. And now then, if I check, I can scroll down and find where I have changed all those. So you can see all of my tail animations are changed. And if I play this, you can watch how the tail moves. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to go to 20. Let's scroll that down again. And I'm going to actually have it go to the other side. And I can't talk to my friend right now who's wanting to talk to me because I'm making this movie. So we're going to go back to the other side. Swish. And swish. And swish. And play. Now then it goes back to the center. So now we have a tail swish. Now if I want to, see, I can turn these dots off and we can just see the cow and the skeleton and play that. And we can call that our idle animation. I can double click, actually rename, and we can call it idle. And now to make the next animation, I will duplicate that animation, and it automatically gives it a 1. And we can rename it and call it root to eat, which is a standard animation used in Torque. And so we will do that. And we will go back to our 10. And we will have the cow bend down and eat. Oh, I'm going to twist its head to the side. See, it's looking around. Look at that. Now there's a dot there. I want to get that reassigned right now. So we're going to go to Select Vertex. And we're just going to get those all. Those are kind of poking out there pretty bad. So we'll assign selected vertices. We have no bones selected. We need to select a bone too. Just gonna select it to at least halfway to the base of the shoulder to smooth that out. So we'll just call it 5. All these numbers have to add up to 1. And we want this halfway to the neck and halfway to the shoulder. If it's totally to the neck, it'll look really rough. If it's totally to the shoulder, it'll look rough. Like we need some more over here. Look like they need to be reassigned to the base of the neck. Yeah, and I probably want it selected to this shoulder halfway. And set. There. Okay. So actually I'm not going to move it quite so far over. I just actually wanted it to move down, which is the X. And select bone. And yeah, we're going to have a little bit of trouble doing this, see? So we're going to move the shoulders there. And move this back. And we got a lot of rigging to do here, but it'll be okay. Right ear, left ear, base of the neck. Let's see how that works. I have a feeling that's not going to work very well. No. Okay, so we can actually clear those. See, when I've made a bad choice and I'm like, oh, none of those things are looking right. Here's how we delete it. It's really easy. So we come to this slider menu and we choose all those, and it will only choose those 4 that I've just selected. See, the others are still yellow. And I select those particular motions that I've edited, and I can delete them. Now I've changed the feet too, so now I want to go find where I changed the feet. Front shoulder, right shoulder, yep. And I can delete those animations. And it still keeps all of the tail swishing, so I haven't lost the tail swishing. But I've reversed all of the other changes that I did, so it doesn't lose everything, it just loses the bits that I want. So now we can try again. Get our cow down. Now I can translate this. I don't like to use translate, but if I really, really need to, I can move it down. which it looks like I really need to this time. So under skeletal animation, I use translate. That's actually going to push the head down. And then I can select a bone again. Oh, except I don't want to do that because I'm in the wrong frame again. Alright, so I copy these. And I come back here. And I paste those and I click to set them. Come back to 10. Actually, let's go to 15. Third try. Awesome. So I'm going to bend it down. Translate. And select again. Select bone. Rotate. And translate just a bit to get it so the cow's reaching down. And select bone. Not the ear. I'm looking at all the names there. There's the neck base. Alright, let's see how that works. Play. Okay, it looks like a bobblehead. We're going to obviously have to make this far longer. So we draw this out here. We're going to draw it out to 70. Select these. And now we're on the keyframe slider, and I'm going to move these out. And then grab them, move them out to 70. Now I've made 70 keyframes instead of just 30. And you can see how that works. I'm going to go over here to 30 now. And we're going to copy and paste, and we want to move that over to here to 30. And now we're going to move the head in to simulate eating. And maybe just a little to the side. There it goes up again at 45. I think I want to paste that in there again. We're not going to have it come back up until it's closer to done eating. Have his head go over there. $55. I'm going to paste again. Slide the keys over, click. I'm going to do one more in, just a tiny bit. Now we'll play. What does that look like? Yeah, it looks like it's eating out of a trough there. So now we have eating from a trough. I know to eat off the ground, cows actually splay their legs, so I'm gonna that's going to be a much more involved animation. But that shows how to make some simple animations, how to fix mistakes, how to slide keyframes, how to use the sliders themselves. And a nice thing about Fragmotion is you don't have to worry about not being in animation mode to save. I can save this right now, and we will call it cow4, and it saves it exactly where it is. So that would be an introduction to rigging and animation with Fragmotion. Thank you very much to my friend John at Broadcast Games who taught me. Hopefully I can pass along the training to others who are ready to learn animation. Thank you very much.